So in a previous video, I showed you how to make this chain-bound journal from mailing cards. So I thought that I would make a quick video tutorial to show you some ideas of things that you could do with it. So in this tutorial, I'm going to concentrate on ways you can use figures. The simplest of which is just to cut out a figure from a magazine and then collage over the top of it. So on this one, I've added a star, I've changed her earrings, I've given her some foliage in her hand, and made the front of the image sort of blend in with the background a little. This one is a similar idea. I found this cool image that had all this clockwork, so I added some extra clockwork and then added some text on top to make the image more my own. So the idea is to take something that you have and make it more like something you might draw or create yourself. That's idea number one, just straight up collage. Idea number two is something like this, where you do some doodling. Idea number three uses the technique of an exquisite corpse, which is that game where you draw a head and then you fold the paper over and somebody else draws the body, and you fold the paper over and somebody else draws the feet. I'm sure you've all played it. So in this one, I took the feet from one figure, added a body from another figure, changed the head. For fun, I added a wing. And I added a hand here that's completely out of proportion. So that's a fun way to make a quirky figure that feels less like something you cut out from a magazine. So here's another example of that. And I like to use these kinds of junk journals to try out new techniques and experiment. And just get to know my materials, because nothing I'm using is expensive or worth a lot of money. So the first thing that I did was I took my card and I cut this picture of the sea and the beach out of a magazine. And it had this nice text, the sea in the sky, so I cut that out and added it too. So next I want to add a sort of mermaidy figure. Because it's the ocean and it looks sort of mermaidy to me. But to do that, I'm going to use this picture that I cut out of a magazine. So I'm going to glue this on. So I'm just using a glue stick to glue this down. And I don't want to cover up all of the text, so I'm just going to have it overlap that A by a little bit. Alright, but she doesn't really look very mermaidy, probably because she's a hair commercial. So I'm going to paint over the top of this to make it more my own. So this is a really simple technique that you can do. So I'm just using some cheapo acrylic paints. Okay, so I picked some colors that look kind of oceany or beachy. And the first thing that I'm going to do is get rid of that hair. Or add some oceany colors in. So here I'm taking a little bit of green. And some blue. And I'm just using the picture as sort of a guide. So I'm following the lines of the model's hair. So even if you can't paint or you're not very confident with your drawing skills, this is a really great way to quickly add a figure to an image. Okay. So that's a bit shiny. I'll take a picture when it's completely dry. So the next thing I want to do is make her skin tone look a little So I'm just sort of using a thin coat of paint so that I can see what's underneath. And I'm painting her in here. And you can obviously take a lot more time and do it a lot more carefully. But again, this is a really quick and easy way to get a figure into your art. I'm going to go back and work on that face here in a minute. So I'm using this turquoise to sort of paint in the shadows. I'm trying to make the whole thing look sort of loose and painterly, and less like a photo in a magazine. So you can see that pretty quickly magazine illustration starts to blend in with my idea to be an ocean mermaid instead. So you can work much more slowly than that and spend a little more time developing the features and building things in.